Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this Raw Opinions video. This is where we sit down for half an hour and we go through your thoughts, your opinions. We've got so much to get our teeth into, about 120 odd replies, so there's no way we'll get through all of those. We're going to try and get through as many as we can, but I want to start with the community scores for the matches. Not a single match getting into the great range here. Everything good to okay. So Sheamus against Big Bronson Reed, good 98%. Zelina versus Sonya, good 75%. You might remember that was a squash, really. Damian against Braun, that got good 99%. I think that was the highest rated match. Then we had Kayden and Katana taking on Shayna and Zoey. That got good 92%. Then we had Dominik against Jey Uso. I did think there was a chance this would get into the great range, but it came out as good 98%. And then our main event, I mean, there's just no way that the main event can fail because it's Sami against Ilja. Good 96%. It just didn't get enough time and it had to follow that amazing Wyatt Sicks segment. And that's a hard segment to follow because it really did kind of suck all the air out the room. And if you joined us on our live stream, it's all we were thinking about and talking about. And it was very hard then to get into the main event, which was a short main event. Does feel like the show kind of overran in places. And so they did the best they could, but it came out good 96%. In regards to that Wyatt Sicks segment, we did score that as well. It wasn't a match. It was just in the ring with Bo and the Wyatt Sicks coming down. This got all-time 55%. It wasn't good. It wasn't great. It was all-time. Like, it was the very top option. 55%. 32% of people thought it was great, only 9% thought it was good, and only 2% thought it was bad. Amazing. People really enjoyed that. So this was not, even though the matches might suggest, a bad show. I think the matches in places were pretty solid, but I think a lot of stuff happened on this show. I think it was an enjoyable show, but that is definitely an area that we need to see WWE improve. So let's see what your thoughts are. So here is Alex, who said, I truly think a year from now, Bo Dallas will be one of the biggest stars in WWE. Savard said it's stupid what they're doing to Drew McIntyre, and yet Braun Breaker gets to hurt anyone he wants just cuz. So not a fan, Savard, of what they're doing with Drew. I mean, I kind of understood what they were doing. He was going along with it. Okay, yeah, fine. You've suspended me. I get it. Blah, blah, blah. And then it was just one bridge too far, wasn't it? Can you apologize to these refs? And it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But he was like, you're embarrassing me now. And, you know, he just couldn't do it and ended up getting suspended again. So, of course, we're going to get CM Punk, Drew. We're going to get that match at SummerSlam. But we're just taking a bit of a detour. We're still trying to make it as interesting as possible. Matt said, Raw was great. It was much better than SmackDown last week. Raw has so many storylines throughout the show compared to SmackDown. It feels like Cody versus Bloodline is one of the only things that is keeping SmackDown exciting. Now, I agree. I mean, it does feel like there's different writers for both of these shows. I don't know if there are. I mean, there could be. We did used to have different writing teams. If we do have different writing teams, then the Raw writing team is definitely winning. Definitely winning. So a bit of work needed to be done here on the SmackDown side of things. I do agree. Alexander said, I believe it'll be a swerve. So Dom, Rhea, and Damian will take on JD, Liv, and Finn. Overall, very good show tonight. Storyline developments, 9.5. So it is interesting to know how the Liv story and Rhea story, where it's leading, where it's going to play out. That is quite interesting. It does feel like Liv and Dom, but there's a lot of people thinking that Liv and Finn is the real play. And it does make sense because we did see Finn getting out of a car ages ago with Liv. And so could it be that he has set this whole thing up to kind of break them all apart? To try and get Damian out, try and get Rhea out so that he can become the leader? I mean, it'll be a brilliant swerve if that is what they're doing. MG Holla Holla said it was a banger. Rocksteady said, I think the show was average overall, but that Wyatt segment. John Elite said, love the Wyatt Sicks segment tonight. Judgment Day segments get interesting by the week. Good to see Sonya wrestling on TV again. Do we have a name for that group yet? Not that I'm aware of, no. Have the Creeds officially joined Chad? I would think so, yes. Can't wait for whenever we get Punk and Drew. Ramboli said it was cool. John says Gunther can make any man heel. First The Miz and now Damian Priest. I need more pop for Bo. The last 2 times Bo showed up, I feel like there was a lack of pop and cheering. What are your thoughts? Always looking for your opinions. Well, I don't know what you're specifically asking me. I mean, if it's on the bits that you have spoken about, I think Gunther is the heel. I think that Damian is the face. I think that that's obviously going to make sense because you don't want to do heel versus heel. The people need someone to cheer for. So heel versus heel, it's just not a match we get very often. And if we do get it, then chances are there's been a bit of bad booking somewhere. This one, I sort of feel like we're watching Judgment Day crumble and fall apart. And they're trying to keep it together this side of SummerSlam. But I think at SummerSlam, it's going to fall apart. I expect Dom to inadvertently or uninvertedly, if that's even a word, unintentionally, that's a word, cost Rhea, right? I do expect it to be a case that she is not going to win that title. I don't know what that means for them. I think Finn could turn on Damian. I think Damian could be out of Judgment Day. Rhea might be out of Judgment Day. Is Dominik going to follow with her? I don't know. It's tricky. I think there's so many different ways that we can go, but definitely Gunther's the heel. Definitely we're trying to make Damian the face. In regards to pop for Bo, I'm not too worried about it because I sort of feel like people that know Bo are going to feel like an affection for Bo. It would be nice if he got a bigger reaction, but I sort of think like it's going to take a little bit of time. There's a lot of people that just don't know Bo. I mean, they've never really seen Bo. There'll be a lot of people that won't remember him as being in the B team and Bo Leave and all of that stuff. They may have seen Uncle Howdy before, but they won't have known that it was Bo. I think that there's a lot of people that do know that. And, we need the rest to catch up, really. So it's hard to pop for someone that really we just have not seen in a long time. That was, dare I say, not the biggest star. He was kind of mid-card at best. But obviously with the emotion of his brother passing away and all of that, you would like to think that people would be up to speed by now. But listen, the reactions are the reactions. I would say I'm not worried about it. I think everything I'm seeing that people are really praising this story, so it's all good. I'm not too worried about it. I think all you can do is just keep putting out great segments, and if they keep doing what they did this week, I think them pops are going to get louder. Big Slick Ace Diamond said it was awesome as it has been for the last several weeks. Ayung said, in Vince's hands, it was horrible to watch, but now every segment rocks. And I don't know where 3 hours has gone. Raw is on fire. Wyatt Max Irish guy said 7 out of 10. Wyatt's story, Liv Rhea Dom's story, was the best and most interesting part of the show. Wyatt Sicks was so good. Hopefully it sets up a SummerSlam tag team match. The question is, of course, will Bo Dallas wrestle? I'm not expecting him to wrestle. I think he'll put the others up there instead. So I think he'll be kind of on the outside. I don't know what we have him do, but I said during the stream, I don't think we have brought him back to wrestle. I think we've brought him back to save those that are being underappreciated, undervalued. And that includes Nikki and Eric Rowan and Dexter and Joe Gacy. They were all underused, underappreciated. So this is why it's their time rather than Bo's time. So I'm not expecting him to compete at SummerSlam personally, but they could put him in the group. I mean, it could be that unfortunately Rowan misses out this time, and so it could be Bo, Gacy. It'll be very interesting to see how they establish who it is that's going to compete. Erected Tadpole said, I was there. It was 8 out of 10 live. Wyatt Sicks segment was the coolest shiz I've seen at a live wrestling event. My wife was in tears and I had chills. It was incredible. Also, great crowd tonight in Dayton. Crowds seemed okay. I mean, I can't say it came across as anything noteworthy. There was some chants going. And it seemed like I would say it was not a bad crowd, but I can't say that the crowd really came through as anything out the ordinary. In regards to the show, I agree. I think that it was a strong episode of Raw. I think that Wyatt Sicks segment is brilliant. I do think the matches let that show down, though, as we said at the start. That is the area that I think they need to try and improve. Maybe some of these scores from the community might be a bit harsh, but I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I can agree that nothing like blew my mind from an in-ring point of view. So even though Raw is beating SmackDown, definitely still areas that can be tightened and improved. Katie said, I loved Raw tonight, but I don't know if I missed it. Did they show the main event? The one with Sami and Ilja, I was wondering. They did. It wasn't on very long. It's still got a chunk of time, but yes, they did show it. Zaniac said, very solid. Wyatt Sicks stuff really stole the show, though. Wyatt Nix said, Sicks segment and Rowan's interview tape were phenomenal. Liv versus Rhea has the potential to be match of the night at SummerSlam. Good luck stopping Braun against Sami. Drew's segment was great. Alex said 9 out of 10 Raw. Rhea costing Dominik tonight will probably play a key role at SummerSlam, which Dominik will turn on Rhea and join Liv. When Liv and Dom switched roles, when they both on the floor, I was like, I don't know if that's PG. Love the videos, love the streams, huge fan. Alex, shout out to you, my friends. Appreciate the kind words. And I think, yeah, they kept it PG. But we're kind of walking that line sometimes with the Dom and Liv stuff. I do agree. But now Mommy's back. So it's just adding an extra dimension, isn't it? And she came storming down as Liv ran into the crowd. Lanny said, the week's shows are improving. Raw has been great recently. Always great to see characters like the Wyatt Sicks, Jay, Drew, etc. But the women need more development, and specifically mid-card and tag division. Noah said, I think the Wyatts would have been a stronger ending than Breaker, especially considering Sami's current reign is getting a bit stale for me. Other than that, dang. I agree. I definitely think that image of the Wyatts in the ring with Bo and his arms outstretched like his brother and the rest of them behind, very hard for Sami and Ilja to follow that. Benny said, overall 9 out of 10. I like Sonya wrestling again. Kayden and Katana did a good match. Dom and the Judgment Day are killing it. Wyatt Sicks, just cinema. Luca said, awesome Rhea and Liv match. Confirmed the Judgment Day. More Damian, Rhea, Carlito, and Dom as well as Gunther and Damian was really good. Michael Cole, Pat cooking on commentary once again. Wyatt Sicks killed it again. Drew segment also rocked. Raw has been cooking. Ashma said Raw was freaking awesome, 9.5. Wyatt Sicks delivers every time. The matches was 8.5, and the Rhea Dom segment was fantastic. Sean said, I've been on the fence with the Wyatt Sicks stuff, waiting for a more definitive explanation as to what, who, and why. All in good time, I suppose. Rowan's VHS sold me, and then that in-ring segment cemented the storyline for me. Overall, a good Raw, all building to SummerSlam. See, I think that's so interesting because I think that a lot of people in our community really engaged with the Nightbird campaign, the QR codes that were coming up on screen. And there was a lot of theory videos, there was a lot of discussion. So it's really interesting, like that Sean here is saying he was waiting for a more definitive explanation of what this group is about, who is in the group, why they've got together. I feel like a lot of that, if not all of that, was in Nightbirds, but it just shows not everyone engaged with Nightbirds, or maybe didn't get as clear answers as what some of us thought we got from it, right? I mean, those weren't really questions I had when the group arrived, but it's interesting, like that these are questions that people have. So it's so frustrating when people say, why are we dragging our heels? We know all this stuff. We learned all this during Nightbird. It's like, not everyone did. Not people are busy. Not everyone has chance to scan those QR codes, kind of go through the whole investigating and watch breakdown videos and all that kind of stuff. There are people that do now need it to be presented to them on the show. So I'm totally fine with it, because I think the way that they're giving us the information again is in a captivating way. I mean, those sit-down interviews are just brilliant, aren't they? Those sit-down interviews are amazing. We're finding out who's behind the masks, why they came together, what their purpose is, and they're doing it in a really, really engaging way. Uziist Cena fan said it was good. A lot of Judgment Day segments, but the highlight were the Wyatt Sicks and Rhea. McShane Carver said, I think Cornette, Russo, Alvarez, and others were proven right. Wyatt Sicks is finished. Chad Gable beats down Bo Dallas. Evidently, that's still his name. And by the time the rest of them come out, the crowd has already checked out. No reaction. It's over. Well, I'm obviously going to counter that and say I couldn't disagree more. I think that this group actually has took a bit of a turn to show that they're not supernatural, which has always been one of the big criticisms, that these guys are spooky and supernatural and all of that stuff. You know, we've just seen Bo beaten down. It's not like the lights went out, they came back on, and he was outside the ring. I think you just saw him get beat down, and of course he got beat down because he got jumped from behind by the Creed brothers. So you can sort of say that Chad Gable beat Bo down like that would be a bad thing anyway. Chad Gable ran Gunther real close in some big matches. Like, Chad Gable deserves respect. And so, you know, getting beat down by Chad Gable, there's no shame in that. But he got jumped first. So, and he was laughing whilst they were beating him up, right? So they were attacking Bo, and they were beating Bo up. And then, you know, Bo had a smile on his face. And then the family came out, you know, and basically chased them away. You can say that, you know, should they have come out earlier? But I really don't think Bo was worried about the situation that he was in. And I don't think the others were worried. You know, Bo getting beaten down, he's been through worse than that. Whatever punches, kicks, whatever, you know, he was suffering, it's nothing compared to the pain of him losing his brother. So, what's the rush? They know they're going to get their hands on these guys. And, you know, they're just giving them more reason, really. So, I don't know. I sort of feel like, to me, you can't say that people were proven right. I mean, all you can say is that, in your opinion, their opinions are correct, you know? I certainly disagree with the fact that they're right, that this group's dead and all that kind of stuff. That ain't what I saw. What I saw is a lot of praise, a lot of excitement for the segments that we got on the show. And actually, this is still very early, as we said. You know, there's people still trying to work out this group. Are they faces? Are they heels? Some people don't know who these people are, you know, because they didn't follow Nightbirds. Some people got into wrestling like last year. They're not going to know who Bo Dallas is. So, you know, this is why there's a bit of building that needs to be done here. And people will get on board with it. We're seeing people getting on board with it. I think people are on board with it. So everyone's opinion is valid as long as it is honest. But I can't agree with that one, McShane Carver. Ratchet the Owl said, SmackDown, get it together because Raw is making Cody's reign a tad insignificant. Everything on Raw is months and months of, dare I say, bangers. I'm still choked up from the ode to Hubert, as pointed out by first name John. Welcome back, mommy. Show 8.5, main event 5.5, leaning 6. Elizabeth said, freaking great. Wyatt Sicks was amazing. They are knocking it out the park. And then the Rhea Dom LIV storyline just gets better and better. We love Mondays. Enjoy Man said, howdy, will take revenge after Bo Dallas got attacked. R.I.P. Bray Wyatt said it was boring outside of Bo and the Wyatt Sicks. Melanie said it was awesome. Jonathan said, Daze, well done, stream, good show overall. Wondering when they will make the Wyatt Sicks, Chad Gable and Creeds. Well, I could imagine that'll be next week, to be honest. I'd imagine it'll be next week. El Patata said, Dom, Rhea, Liv was great. Drew, Punk, Seth was so well written. Maybe we get Rollins versus Punk at SummerSlam instead. Love Pierce on the mic. I need to see Zelina cutting promos on Netflix. Damian Priest versus Gunther promo was great. Love how Damian went from happy, all smiling, to peed off when Gunther mentioned his parents. Good win for him over Braun. Would love to see him with his character back in Puerto Rico as champion. So many wrestlers deserve a title, but give one to Pete Dunne. I'm still intrigued by Karrion and Woods' story. It will pay off. Rowan's promo, perfect. Bo Dallas selling, perfect. JD could never. I love how he laughed at his opponents like Bray did when LA Knight was stomping him. He definitely looks dangerous. When Bray returned, every segment made my heartbeat increase. Same here. This should have been the main event. Ilja versus Sami. Crowd was just waiting for Braun to come out at the end. Dead match, but okay. Can't compare to SmackDown. 9 out of 10. -1 for forcing me to watch the new faction instead of Damage Control. Counter of distractions 3 could have been worse. Al Patata, shout out to you. Nita Nitro said, solid 9, so many stories, all progressing at once, and all of them hitting. It's can't miss. I can't wait until the Wyatt Sicks unmask for their first match. The pop is going to be unreal. Bo and Rowan killed it tonight. The feeling is back. Musically High said, I think Rhea Judgment Day scenes were way too frequent and it started to become a bore. Overall, it was an average Raw with a lackluster crowd that fell flat at times. 5. Rico said, I didn't see it. Lance Storm came through and I lost power. I am sour. I am not clapping. I am not feeling the power. So there we go. Rico is waiting for a new day. Joseph said, Raw was incredible in my opinion. I say it every time. Bo is born for this. The Wyatt Sicks are incredible. I wish Ilja Sami had more time. Liv versus Rhea is the best built match heading into SummerSlam. Gunther, Damian has stepped up levels tonight. The VHS was good. Keep it up. Michael said, where was Alexa? Well, we're expecting her to be at SummerSlam. There was just a thought because we were in Ohio that she may have appeared on this show. but we never said she would be on this show. Didn't really expect her to be on this show, thinking it's going to be SummerSlam. Brady said, loved it. Logan said, Wyatt Sicks should have attacked the Creed brothers and Chad. Well, I think they just want to make you wait because that is what SummerSlam is for. I think they showed that they were not in a rush. I think they showed that they felt everything was under control. I think they showed that they were quite happy to take their time and basically send a message of, oh, you just effed up. You just effed up. You know? You just effed up. So that match is going to get made, I think, next week, and that's where you're going to get them getting their hands on those guys. TJF 1983 said Taylor and the Wyatt Sicks stole the whole show. Liv Dom fan page said Liv Dom over Rhea. Dom 7 out of 10. Wyatt Sicks should have closed the show. Spartan said really enjoyed the different storylines like Damian, Gunther, Liv, Rhea and Drew. Wyatt Sicks continued to impress with VHS tapes. Sadly missed the Chad segment. Will definitely be watching it when I can. But Rowan segment was great. Jay, Dom was good as well. Sami match needed more time. Victor said that Wyatt Sicks segment and vignette were beyond great. It makes me wonder if Bo is going to wrestle as himself or Howdy. Dom and Rhea was fun, and Drew Punk is getting a bit confusing. Seth's interference means we're probably getting a triple threat, or Punk is not cleared. Seth Brooks said it was killer. My beloved Rhea is back. She's playing you, dum-dum. Wyatt Sicks, Bo, Rowan, just awesome. Another great match ruined by the same old, and I stress the word old, predictable. Braun, Spears, Sami, leaves, Spears, everyone. Ugh. That says the Wyatt Sicks segment was pure cinema. My goosebumps had goosebumps. Cannot wait to see what they do next. YNWALFC said, only talking about the Wyatts because I'll reach the word limit here on how much I love them. It was fantastic. The Rowan VHS. Mwah. Seeing Taylor back in the flesh made me cry. Him emulating his brother. The tribute to Brody. This could be really special. This is generational. David M. Pros said, wonderful. It's gone from 3 hours is way too long to how do they fit so much in 3 hours? It just zooms by. Bo and his crew stole the show. Gable and his new crew couldn't be more perfect for the first feuds. Yeah. There you are. In a word, perfect. Brian said, pretty good show with storyline progression. Gina said the interview with Rowan had me crying. I'm loving these looks into their heads. I'm sorry Sonya, Zoey and Shayna have a direction. Oh, I'm glad Sonya, Zoey and Shayna have a direction now. They needed it. Drew, stubborn ass. Am I the only one thinking it'll be Braun, Ilja, Sami, triple threat at SummerSlam? Pretty good show altogether. Michael said, I love Rhea, Ripley and Wyatt Sicks stuff tonight. Gunther and Priest promo was fantastic. Made Priest look strong before his match at SummerSlam. McIntyre versus Rollins versus Punk story is really heating up. And I hope that Ilja wins the IC title at SummerSlam. 8 out of 10. Wyatt Sicks should have ended Raw. Philly Wrestling Hub said, Wyatt Sicks, that is all. Brendan said, Alexa Bliss the Fiend. Raven said, I love the prevailing stories. I just wish some more match time was given in certain cases. Ilja versus Sami deserves a proper half hour at least. Denican said, very good development on the Wyatt Sicks front. This could be leading to either Gable versus Howdy or maybe a 6-man tag. Also love that Bo came out as himself. It reiterates that these are real people just with problems. Love it. Wrestling fan since day one says, yeet. Carl said solid. Wyatt Sicks stuff was fire. I'd like to thank Chad Gable for solving the major mystery of Uncle Howdy's identity. Don't know where I'd be without his genius. Some good progression of the storylines. I think we're going to have to finish with these two. James said good. Liking where Judgment Day story is going. Matches were okay tonight. Was mainly about storylines, and I'm fine with that. Wyatt Sicks stuff definitely carried. I got emotional during the Rowan segment. I wasn't happy with Bo begging, but now I'm fine with it. Well, I don't think Bo begged. I think he was laughing. I don't remember him begging. Not Flemshart said this whole storyline has been nothing short of a masterpiece. Bo is literally crushing this role and is proving week after week that he was born to do this, and that Rowan interview was phenomenal. Can't wait to see what happens next. I do love getting people's thoughts on a few more. Sam said the Wyatt Sicks stuff was the best by far. They ruined Sheamus's theme. I miss CM Punk already. Nando said, good show. I love Chad. He's super entertaining. Great Gunther promo. I'm glad the women's tag actually got time. Judgment Day live segments are always great. Not into Wyatt Sicks, but even that was quite enjoyable. And I'm glad that Bo didn't do a costume change when they came down. I think they really are getting that message across of like, the presentation might be quite big and elaborate, but you know, with masks and all that kind of stuff. But underneath it all, these are real people that have got real traumas and heartaches. And I think the VHS tape's doing a brilliant job of showing that. I think the Wyatt Sicks segment was brilliant. I thought the Rowan thing was brilliant. I think Rhea and LIV was pretty good. I actually think that we probably could have sat down and found a way for it being even better. I sort of don't quite know how Dom feels with Damian. Like, they seem to be chatting and good, and then moments later, Dominik was going up to Damian, being a bit off with him. And I sort of found that, you know, Rhea, we kept going back to Rhea. We kept saw Dom bothering Rhea. I do agree there was a bit too much of that. I kind of feel like we just needed 1 or 2 moments in the show. Just leave it at that. Maybe the opening moment. Maybe she doesn't want to talk to him backstage. Then maybe she comes out during his match, and maybe that would have been it. But we got more than that, and I do agree maybe it was a bit too much. The Drew thing I thought was okay. Still not really the way I would go, and I'm not that excited about Punk, Drew, and CM Punk personally. Punk, Drew, Seth. I'm not really excited by that. I'm not a fan of triple threats. Maybe it's just a case that Punk isn't cleared. Maybe we don't have anything else for Punk to do. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not the direction I would go. I want Punk versus Seth, and I want Punk versus Drew. I don't really want Punk versus Seth versus Drew. So a little bit concerned at that. Main event needed more time. All the matches needed to cook a bit more. I think I'm probably looking at a 7.5 to 7.75. Probably leaning more 7.5. I thought this was really good. I thought it was really good. I think the Wyatt Sicks segment, the Rowan thing, really boosts my score. If you used to take them out, don't know, matches didn't really do anything. The Rhea thing was really good, but I think could have been stronger. Damian and Gunther was good. I think even if you take it out, there's enough there for this to be in the 6s, but definitely that it gets into the 7s because of the Wyatt Sicks stuff. So yeah, there we go. Those were my thoughts as well. And it seems like a lot of us on the same page. So appreciate the support, my friends. Thanks a lot for joining us. We've gone a few minutes over the half hour, but I don't worry about that. I like to try and get through as many comments as I can whilst providing as many thoughts as I can to make this video as complete as I can. And a big thank you to everyone left their feedback. We'll have another feedback video for you later on. I'll get the post up and we'll start working on that. So have a good day. We're back later with our NXT watch along, of course, and hopefully I'll see you there. Bye for now.